I feel like everyone who watches this movie knows the endgame here. Characters are sucked into the game, forced to play it or die, so they play it, wins it, goes back to their original life feeling better about themselves, then repeat for more sequels, right? Watch it or skip it. I think you can skip it, you're not gonna miss out, and let me tell you why. For those who aren't familiar with the Jumanji franchise, Jumanji is originally a movie about a board game in the 90s movie with Robin Williams, which is one of the movies I remember liking as a kid. And today's reboot is a Jumanji video game. Players experience real events of the game inside the jungle, for example, getting eaten by animals, having enhanced strengths and some weaknesses via their game avatars, and getting rebooted with their 3 lives in the game. They need to pass several levels of the game in order to save Jumanji and get back to the real world. I also watched the 2017 Jumanji movie, and it feels like the 2019 movie is yet another level of the same game. You know, like in Candy Crush, you pass level 100 and you find out there's hundreds more of the same kind of game, only with a different design and atmosphere. That's how I felt. Several parts of the movie I felt disengaged and my mind was flying away, but when I get back, you still know what's going on and what's gonna happen next. But putting that aside, there are a couple of plus points for the movie that I really liked, such as the actors. They're super funny. Kevin Hart is always fun to watch, of course, but Jack Black stole the show for me. Another plus point is when the game avatar switched characters. The Rock was previously played by Spencer the Nerd Kid, and in this movie, The Rock is played by Spencer's grandpa. But I gotta say, Jack Black was so hilarious that in any character you put him into, whether he plays the vain teenage girl Bethany or the athlete Fridge, he maintains his super charming and fun character. So happy to see Rory McCann, Game of Thrones Sandor Clegane, as the villain in the movie. He's dressed as if his character in Game of Thrones with all the snow reminds me of him in Winterfell. Anyway, I'd love to see more of him in the movie, at least a better fight with him and The Rock, cause their fight was too easy. There's no challenge at all. They just threw a couple of punches and The Rock brings out his weakness and boom, done. I like the bridges chase scene, probably one of the best scenes of the movie that got me 100% fully watching it. But apart from that, other levels of the game were pretty much the same as the ones before with a different setup. Here we see sand, snow, and a different jewel that they need to get and finish the game. Also, as much as I loved seeing Nick Jonas in a movie because he brings this charming knight and shining armor kind of vibe, but his character is too flat and could use a bit more uplifting. There are some unnecessary parts of the movie, like for example, there's this scene with Kevin Hart and The Rock. They were just traveling from one place to the other, and it ended up with The Rock killing Kevin Hart, and it cost him one of his 3 lives. I think that scene was super unnecessary and it was silly. As expected in this kind of movie, everyone goes back to their original life happier and appreciates it better. One character decided to be left behind, and it was actually beautiful how they presented it. A 75-year-old grandpa who just learned how to fly. Of course, he would want to stay in the Jumanji world. Now, they closed the movie by saying, "I'm never going back there again." And usually when someone says this, they will definitely go back. Just how you know you got a friend that says, "I'm never gonna drink again," and you find that person in the bar the next day. Anyone got that experience? Well, stay for the post-credit scenes, there's more to watch. So I think it's safe to assume that there will be more Jumanji movies of this sequel. I'm not sure if I will watch it unless they change the plot line or the storyline. Did you guys watch the movie? Is it a yay or nay? Let me know. I hope to see you in the next video. Please click like or subscribe.